Hello, my favorite mathematicians, and welcome to 1.7 Part 1, where we will be dividing fractions by fractions and answering the essential question, how can I use models to divide one fraction by another fraction? Let's take a look at the supplies we need today. They are pretty standard. We need our writing utensil, some different colored pencils, our math notebook, our growth mindset, and as always, some determination. Our learning goal today is simply that we can divide fractions using models. So again, that key part today is that we're going to use models. So let's jump in with a problem. 4/5 divided by 1/4. So step 1 is to draw two arrays that use the dimensions given to us by our denominators. And what that means is I have two denominators here, 5 and 4. So I'm going to make two boxes that are 5 by 4. Now, I have grid paper, you don't, so when I make my first box that's 5 by 4, my dividing lines are already there, and you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. You're going to need to make those divisions on your paper since you don't have graph paper. And I need two of those. So I have two boxes that are 5 by 4. Okay, step 1, draw those two arrays. Now we're ready for step 2, which is where we're going to shade in to represent the fractions that we have. So I need to shade in the first box on the left to represent 4/5. And so I'm going to color in 4 out of those 5 rows. And in the second box on the right, I need to shade in 1/4, so 1 column out of the 4. So now I have 4/5 represented on the left and 1/4 represented on the right. My third step is to count how many squares are in the second fractions model. And just to be clear, we're talking about those shaded squares. So I'm going to count and know that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares in the second model that are shaded. Okay? So knowing I have 5, that makes me ready for step 4, because step 4 is how many groups of 5 are in the first fraction. So since I had 5 in the second one, I want to know how many of that I can fit into the first one. So we're going to count and make groups of 5. So what that's going to look like is I'm just going to number my boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and bam, I have one group. Okay? I can make another one though, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I have two groups. I think I can get another one though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I have 3 groups. And I'm going to go ahead and number 1 and just make note that I have 1 left over. Okay? Now I'm ready to get my answer from that. So here's what that's going to look like. First question is I want to know how many groups were I able to make. That's going to be the whole number in my answer. We said we were able to make 3 groups of 5, so that's my whole number. My second question I want to ask myself is how many leftovers did I have? That's going to be my numerator. Well, I had 1 left over, so I've got 3 and 1. How do I get my denominator? Well, that's how many were in a group. That's going to be 5 in this case. So 4/5 divided by 1 1/4 is 3 and 1/5. All right, you have those steps written down in your notebook. Now's the time when you're going to pause this video and try the other two on your own. Make sure that you model each problem. All right, did you come up with 1 2/4 and 15/16? If you did, great, you're ready to move on. If you didn't, go ahead and pause the video, revisit those two problems, see if you can figure out where you went wrong, and be sure to ask questions if you can't figure it out on your own. That, my mathematicians, is 1.7 Part 1, dividing fractions by fractions using models. And as always, we have to give credit to Amy Grosbeck, Amanda Newsom, and Bricks and Borders for their amazing fonts and clip arts. Mathematicians, go forth and be amazing.